keen to see what this man from Invictus Gaming can whip out and convince me that he can win this series. It is the man himself, MacSed.
And in the top right, the young gun playing on one of the best teams in the world, Dragon Phoenix Gaming, teammates with the likes of Hero. It is Jieshi.
Heck yeah. Is your favorite? The wub wub, the dubstep one?
No, it's not my favorite. It's top 3 though, for sure, top 3. I think there's 4 songs, so I don't know if that's saying that much.
I'm gonna ask production actually. How many songs are there? It feels like 2.
I think there's a 3rd, isn't there? I think they rotated it.
There probably is. There probably is. I don't know.
Maybe even a 4th. I don't know.
We've had these the play intro stings, like these short music numbers for 2 years now. So we really should get onto it. Actually, maybe not. I feel like we had a bit of butt rock at the beginning when we were doing these online broadcasts. We had a little bit of. I remember jiving in my chair, going,
yes.
"Oh hell yeah, 4-chord rock music."
Yes, bring back some of the rock. Yeah, let's do it. Well, interestingly, both sides are kind of going around scouting, looking for the 1-gate expand. Now, MacSed has committed to the block. Jieshi has not, but Jaishi's only on 1 gas. MacSed sees that, and he's like, okay, I'll steal that, and I'll keep blocking your expansion. This seems like a big misplay for Jieshi, because this kind of funnels you into either taking your 3rd or 4-gating. As long as MacSed commits to the Cybercore, which he 100% should, because if you've gas stolen, I mean, you Cybercore block as well, it's going to be hard for them to do much. On the other hand, that is a huge expense on top of the gas steal. We'll see what MacSed does go for. Stalker, Warp Gate versus Stalker, Warp Gate. Chronos on the Stalkers for Jieshi. Interesting. I mean, there is a school of thought that says, yes, you're limiting my choices, but I don't care. Because, okay, yeah, this is the problem with not Cybercore blocking here, is if you've gas stolen, he kind of just has to go for that Nexus, and he does get it up. Nonetheless, his tech is limited. MacSed puts his own Nexus down a few seconds later. But yeah, there's a school of thought of like, hey, let you block everything you want, and I'll just keep building probes and pylons and doing all that stuff. Normally, though, that's what you do when you go 2 gases and Stargate, and you don't care about the Nexus being delayed. Odd to see Jaishi's approach here to kind of getting value out of his opponent blocking all of his stuff.
Indeed. Pretty cool to see a gas steal every now and then. It feels like, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the old school fella, the gas steal. You just don't see it much these days.
Yes, I think Haas did it 1 game versus Nice, where he cannon rushed, then he fake cannon rushed, and while Nice was worried about the pylon, he got a gas steal off, and I was like, oh, that's really clever, right? But that was the first time I'd seen it in months. Like, it was definitely, it's not as popular as it once was. Those gases often going down so early. Full wall off for MacSed, I love it. This is something that is massively underutilized these days, the full wall off. Deny scouting makes it really easy to defend with inferior numbers, get through this dangerous early game. It's a cool thing you can do. On the downside, makes it really awkward to take a 3rd and rally probes to it. Obviously, it doesn't give you that free kind of passage back and forth, not as easy to pressure, and this pylon's very exposed at the front, so he has to fight, but oh no! He should have pulled that Stalker back. Huge mistake for MacSed. He's got no range damage now. He's making an immortal.
He's going to lose his pylon, man.
He's got a battery. He can definitely heal it and overcharge.
Oh, there's the battery, yep.
But
I didn't see the beam. What was that graphical thing?
No, it looked like he wasn't casting it, but overcharge. Overcharge! Okay, he does just barely in time. But yeah, if you get that Stalker alive, that would have been a little bit more chill there. Just needed to pull it back, wait for the battery to start healing it, then go back in. As it is, a Forge goes down. And Jieshi looks like he wants to just go, blink and upgrades. He's up 4 workers so far. MacSed, by the looks of it, is going to make a prism, ferry everything across the wall, and go and kill him.
All right.
Feels like an all-in to me, but MacSed's only on 2 gates, so he's going to need more gateways if he wants to do that. Weird build, because he's got no Forge and no Twilight, and he's not going for a 3rd base either, so it feels like MacSed kind of has to all in here, and against a guy going Forge, Blink, 3rd base, it's a very good call. If we could keep an eye on MacSed's Robo and just see if he's chronoing it. Well, hey, there we go. He is. The hallucinated Phoenix sees it as well. It's not just us that see that. Jaishi's like, hey, whoa, buddy. And now that MacSed scouted, he's like, damn it, that's maybe not going to work. So he drops a Twilight and starts adding more probes. But I feel like he's already committed. He has to at least go across the map. Jaishi's got actually very low on production. If MacSed commits this, I do think it'll work.
Loading up the Immortals first, of course. as a cast system here. Oh, is he just going to go the Immortals and then macro behind it?
Yeah, looks like
Okay.
he's going to for now. He's adding 4 more gates. Is he going to go Glaives? MacSed's going to do the latest Glaives timing of all time, I think.
He does love Glaive Adepts
Yeah.
in PvP. He's a big fan of it.
Yeah, there we go. Big Glaive all in. If the Immortals can do damage, that'd be big. The Stalkers are kind of out of position, but with Blink almost finishing, this is such a dangerous drop. Like, oh, this is such a daredevil move.
I mean, look, he's already kind of boned, so why not? Like, let's throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks. MacSed's definitely got the skills to pay pay the bills and makes magic happen. So Immortals are great at getting rid of pylons
Prism's
very
too
quickly.
close. Prism's too close. Oh no. Okay, good recall, but not that good a recall. Loses an Immortal and a Warp Prism there. And the thing is, Jieshi is pretty aware of what's happening. He's up on 5 gateways himself. MacSed's going to go across now with this massive Glaives and still could make it work.
And
should only be 1 less Immortal, right? Oh, I guess he's got to rebuild the Prism as well, right? So actually, yeah, it will be. Oh man, it would have been a 4 Immortal all in Maynard.
I mean, against a guy that only has Stalkers, it's not bad.
Blink in the main's gonna, just as he wants to move out as well. Super annoying, and Adepts in the natural. And every second Jieshi buys for himself is so good because he's up 10 workers, he's up an expansion. Immortal and Adepts will defend there well.
Oh my god.
His own building placement works against him a little bit, but the force fields do scare him off, depowering all the gateways. Artosis left in the open, man. I guess we should start calling it a tasteless pylon since he's the one being left in Korea. But it really is painful to see those gateways depowered at a crucial time. Charge is coming in. I don't think Charge is the best first Glaives, but I think the numbers are going to be so high that it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, we can still call it the Artosis pylon. Look, I know that Artosis doesn't really play StarCraft 2 anymore. It's been many, many years since he's played StarCraft 2, but one thing will be consistent. No matter where Artosis is in the world, he will always be calling Protoss apes on the ladder for the rest of his life.
That is true. Apes can play Maynard. They
Whether
absolutely
it's in Canada,
can.
Korea, wherever, they are all apes to Artosis, and it's something I rely on. You know, consistent things in this world. The world can be so topsy-turvy. Things can change really, really quickly, but I grab onto things that are bedrock consistent, like Artosis' hatred for Protoss and the Broodlord ladder.
Yeah. The touch on wood before you go into a ladder session is in the StarCraft community just to watch some Artosis compilations, and it does just, you know, cleanses any bad juju from you.
It gives me so much life. And then here come the Glaives, and this is very committed from MacSed, to say the least.
Oh, watch this Stalker flank. Watch the Stalker flank. This is such a big brain move. Oh, he's trying to get the Prism. But nice micro by MacSed. Old man blocks the move. Nicely done by MacSed, sorry. He's not going to be getting taken out. DT Shrine is halfway done, Maynard. 40 probes versus 54. Dude, this income differential is just insane. The problem is, can the Zealots get surface area? I feel like they might just get stuck on this. Force fields?
Oh! The Zealots flood on it. Good force fields, my god.
Oh my gosh, the Stalkers blink forwards, the Immortals are doing work, the Adepts. Oh, dude, if you don't have Disruptors or Archons, those Adepts are actually legit straight up fighting units, but now the Stalkers' numbers may be a bit too high. The Guardian Shield comes in. The numbers advantage may be just a bit too high here. There's no damage left. Imagine if there was 2 more Immortals in the back of that Maynard. Completely different fight.
Yeah. I mean, it was going MacSed's way for a hot minute there, but yeah, the Jieshi defenses managed to scramble, managed to contain and destroy MacSed out in the front lines there, keeping him out of the soft underbelly of Jieshi's infrastructure. The Adepts did not get a big shade on into the natural. That would have almost certainly cost him the game even faster, MacSed, if he let those Adepts just shade into a mineral line. He would have left all the expensive, heavy-hitting units exposed. And yeah, the Adept with Glaives, it has its place. It's definitely effective against Zealots and other Adepts and that kind of thing, but it just really doesn't, it doesn't see the light of day too often in PvP as a fighting unit, as a frontline unit. You know, as soon as the charge lots get in there, you know, the Adepts really seem to fall apart. But we're gonna take a break. You know, I'm stumbling all over myself here. I'm gonna take a moment. The amount of Adepts in that game was too damn high, and I'm taking a breather. When we come back, we're gonna have game 2 between Jieshi and MacSed. Don't go away. We'll see you then. What's going on, mates? Welcome back to PvP Land. I am Maynard, with me is Pig, and we'll be your guides in this magical mystery field of Protoss units, the Space Elf faction with their laser beams and spells ready to destroy each other for your enjoyment and for ours as well. This, this is one of those jobs that we can get a lot of satisfaction and enjoyment out of.
Yeah.
Because we like watching explosions and spells.
Yeah, mate. There's got to be civil war sometimes. Strife between the Protoss, the different castes and whatnot. I mean, they're a bit of an oppressive lot, the Protoss, and sometimes they hold each other down a bit too much. They turn on each other and they do fight. And in that last game, it was looking like a Robo all-in planned out of MacSed, but tried to commit to the immortal drop against a man with Blink. And he saw a pylon, killed it, and then he saw another pylon. It was in just a little bit deeper. And he said, oh, I'll just step over here and pick off that other pylon. And no, that got punished hard. The Prism and an immortal going down. And his very delayed all-in from there actually looked like it would have worked if that wasn't the case. It also, I think, would have worked if he just did a 4 or 5 gate attack with just the 2 immortals in the Prism. But Jieshi was like really very confident that he's defended that game, because that's a game where he scouted with hallucinations, went Forge, went Blink, took a third, harassed, bought time with Stalkers. It was like all of the fancy macro things that are very fragile in PvP that we've seen get absolutely punished last week when we were watching a lot of PvPs. Jieshi starting off surviving one of those situations, it's like a massive confidence booster. Yeah,
indeed. And it's going to get him juiced up and ready to go for game number 2. I believe this one's on the or Inside and Out, I think, is the next map here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think it was. And then it was
just nod and smile.
Game 3 Moondance, I think, actually, funnily enough. So
Game 3 is actually Data C.
Oh, you are correct, aren't you, Maynard? Damn, you got me.
Destroyed.
They took
annihilated in front of like 1,800 people.
Yeah, they witnessed. To be fair, beating me in something like this doesn't really hold any status.
No.
After I, promised to eat a shoe and then just immediately was like, no, what?
You're like, yo, what? No, I don't see that. And then people show you the clip.
Never said that. No, that's not me. It's a deep fake.
Yeah, anyone can do anything with the internet and technology these days, guys. This software does all kind of crazy stuff right now. You can't trust it. Apparently also production let us know that there are 6 different intro musics. Remember how we were like, oh, it's 4, it's 3. It's 6 actually.
So there we go. All right. Yeah, man. No, there is quite a few different feels. I would like 1 or 2 more tracks added to it. Add even more variety would be great. Maybe something with like a bit of a Hotline Miami sort of feel to it would be cool.
There is a couple tracks in there that have a bit of synthwave in them. I picture in my mind a 1980s Ferrari driving on a beach road with palm trees swinging in a neon breeze. But
I feel like every time I see trees silhouetted at sunset, I always think of that game. It's actually like burnt into my memory. It's so good.
I gotta play that. I gotta play that game again. And I never played 2.
I was just thinking I never played 2 as well.
Because it was banned in Australia. You guys don't know this, but Australia's actually got a really strict gaming, what do you call it? Like sort of like the SEC, but for games.
Yeah, the SEC won't let us play, unfortunately. They say, zombie games, they're like, it's promoting murder and stuff. You're like, what?
But it's gotten better now. Like, I think now if Hotline Miami 2 came out, they wouldn't care. But certainly, like back in the day, they definitely cared. Like, we had Australians would have their own version for games that had certain themes in them. Drugs and butt stuff or whatever. Whatever they got upset about. Stuff that's just so
pretty
silly.
Much anything.
Yeah. Anyway. In the top side here of Inside and Out from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, this is Jieshi.
He might be down 1-0, but that's when he bloody revs up, gets that man strength, and gets ready to turn his opponent inside out. In the bottom left, representing Invictus Gaming, it's MacSed.
Halloween's coming up in 3 weeks, and I'm going to wear your skin as a costume.
Heck yeah.
Get him, MacSed. Let's tie up the series and go to a third game. I want more StarCraft video games.
I can already smell the fava beans cooking, Maynard.
And a nice Chianti.
Pylon block for Jieshi this time around. He's gonna go for it. So they're both
same
playing.
deal for MacSed, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm a little. It's fascinating. The one gate meta is so strong between these two, right? Because there's certain regions where people are just and Jieshi cancels it, gets his Nexus down. Okay. Well, MacSed also gets to get the Nexus down as well. If Jieshi got back down to block there in time and got his up, that's where you feel super just awesome. You're like, get your pylon down. You're like, oh yeah. As it is though, it's like pretty even here. Jieshi actually hasn't taken his second gas. He gets a probe snipe, which is very good. Gets his own probe out of it. His second gas is really late, which makes me think he might just proxy. Where does his probe go when it leaves the enemy base? Does it cut off to the side after it's out of vision, I wonder? This feels like he's just going to 3 or 4 gate. Yeah, look at it, it's hiding. That's a sneaky probe. He's going to all in. This is really powerful, especially when you're in a 1 gate versus 1 gate meta where you're both like, oh, I want to expand. I want to expand. If you can show your opponent your intent to expand and then just do a disgusting all in or big surprising attack, it holds so much power. And this is why I am a little worried for MacSed, or at least I was, but he's already putting a second gate down, which shows a lot of caution.
Certainly does. So as we see the strategy, MacSed in the dark has to react accordingly.
Stalker Jieshi blinks first. Jieshi proxying a gate out there, building another gate at home. So 3 gate versus 2 gate in the favor of Jieshi. Now, these surprising 3 gate attacks, 4 gate attacks are amazing, Maynard. Problem, that ramp is very hard to breach.
It is.
And there's a robo defensively as well. MacSed with great instincts. Force fields are killer on this ramp, right? You try to run up there with like a big mass of stalkers, that can ruin you. And he sees these 2 stalkers coming. I mean, MacSed doesn't have a lot of vision, but if his plan is to just often play like robo into like big 2 base push like that last game, heck, it'll keep him really safe.
Yeah, I'm loving MacSed's position, even though they haven't really, met in battle here. Just the pieces that he's got on the board look really good. He is set up to hold this from Jieshi. And as Jieshi can potentially overextend, that can lead into MacSed just rolling over him in the next few minutes. But of course, we will see as time goes on. Jieshi beginning the poke, and already a pretty damaged stalker there in this push.
Has he seen the robo, Jieshi? I think he must have, because he's putting down a Stargate. So he sees the robo. That's the problem with putting the robo at the front there. And a forge going down, which tells us MacSed wants to play a longer game. He wants to get upgrades. He's like, I'll just use this robo defensively. That's cool. This triple adept is a beautiful move, though. That sentry is gone. Uh-oh, he's got to heal the pylon. If he doesn't heal that pylon, he could be in big trouble right now. MacSed, old man multitasking. Oh no, Maynard!
Oh! 10 years younger, he would have noticed.
Oh, that is so painful.
Yeah, that's so rough, man. Oh, now this push from Jieshi suddenly got a little bit more legs in it.
It's got some real bite. Oh, nice block. Nice block.
Well
I mean,
done.
he's not dead, but he lost 5 workers there. Making +1, making immortals. He's making more probes. Jieshi's going for... Dude, there is a North American Oracle timing, which is like this Oracle. That's if it arrives now. You'd be like, what? That's such a late Oracle. I don't expect it. But this is the next level Jieshi Oracle timing. He's probably going to even wait for 2 of them. Rock up at like 7 minutes when MacSed moves out to take a third, and he's going to lose like 20 probes because it's such a surprising timing.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one to start things off with, but let's see how these players find their footing. Jieshi's still poking. Oh, that time the shades went out for the adepts, so they are going to threaten the main here.
He's so distracted that he hasn't noticed the Oracle. Even though the Observer flew right past it, I doubt he saw it because he was microing here against these adepts. These adepts will only grab, what, 3 more probes? Does he get 4th? Yes, he does. Oh, no, doesn't target it quite right. No worries. And the Oracle is hiding off to the side of the main. Glaives is making, but yeah, no sign of him seeing the Stargate yet. The Oracle's going to get another 5 workers. Jieshi is just overwhelming him with fluid harassment here. Clever plays. It's such a late Oracle. No one expects an Oracle this late in the game.
Yeah, man. And that is critical damage to the economy of MacSed. I mean, being down 20 workers at the 5.5-minute mark, it's just... yeah, I mean, it's exponential. It's really, really bad.
Immortals on the way. Prism, Glaives, +1 as well. 29 probe, all in. MacSed forced into a desperate move. Stalkers are ready in the main. The Oracle not going to find damage, but he's got to leave at least 2 Stalkers in each mineral line to defend when he moves out. And he will be moving out in the near future. If this attack works... I mean, it's not going to hit for another minute or so at least. If it works, it's similar to that comeback we saw with Coffee. Just like ridiculous. Like, what the hell? You have no business winning this game, dude. But the army is out of position. These Adepts could get some nice probe damage. He doesn't want to throw the Adepts away, though. So I think just getting some mining time and getting out of there is probably the better play at this point. Rejoin those Adepts with your army. Oracle does very good damage to the Adepts. I think that's definitely worth the energy to try and kill a few of those. And it looks like they will shade back. 3 Adepts do survive of the initial 5. They've denied some mining time. They can crack through the wall. That'd be good. Immortals are on the way. There's not that many actual gateway units right now, though. Has Jieshi been too greedy? I do think MacSed should hit the natural rather than the 3rd, though. But he could lure Jieshi out into the open. This is actually a great play. MacSed here. He's on the warpath. And even though he's got next to no economy, you don't need an economy if you can kill your opponent right here.
That's right. There's one thing killing your opponent's economy, and it's another thing stopping their army. The Adepts do shade into the main this time, separating the army pieces for MacSed. He feels like he's able to fight on 2 fronts here.
This is questionable. It's killing a lot of probes, but remember, he needs to kill the army right now. He does shade most of them out, though, which I think is killing a really good move.
And that's right. Like, a lot of people will go, oh, I killed 20 workers and I still lost. That doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you got to kill the army, man. Like, killing the army is the win.
Yeah. Especially if you're all in like this. The Adepts are going to shade through. Nice battery overcharge there, but it's going to shade into that main one more time. Some of the Adepts thinking about shading him, trying to get his own Glaives and Blink at the same time. Double Twilight Council upgrades for Jieshi. I don't even...
God.
That production tab.
Twilight Councils.
Right now, an insane move for him. The gateways are getting torn down. These Adepts are so tanky. They don't take the bonus damage from the Immortals. Taking down that pylon would be huge. The Adepts coming in. The Charge Zealots charge was cancelled here. As I think Blink was as well, but man, the Adepts are just scaling so well. And if he can get rid of these Immortals, MacSed dives. He gets one of them. The other Immortals are now focusing his, though. But the Prism arrives just in time.
Yeah, MacSed with the reinforcement Immortals might have just clinched it here.
There is a counter drop going on.
Very precarious tightrope walk, but yeah.
Oh, it's Oracles, but the Stalkers take him out on the other side. Oh, wow, dude. MacSed getting ravaged by harassment in 2 games straight, but he manages to bring it back. However, 2 games in a row doing a desperate Immortal Glaives attack. I don't think you can do that for a 3rd game in a row, MacSed. Time to pull out a new strategy.
It was one of those wins where you're like, yes, it's a win, and that's all that matters when you're in a tournament, but it's not a clean win. It's not one that instills me with a ton of confidence. You know, Jieshi got a little bit unlucky there, and MacSed got a little bit lucky. And like, of course, don't want to take skill off the table and just say, oh, it was all luck. You know, that's silly. MacSed obviously made a correct decision in the heat of the moment, and executed beautifully. So definitely deserved that map win. Doesn't mean we're going to the ace match. Pretty keen on that.
Yeah, you know, it's such little details matter such a big way at this level of StarCraft, Maynard. Robo built at the natural? Yeah, seems fine. Whatever. We'll just build the Robo at the natural, can reinforce right in the fight. Problem, 3 Stalkers poke your ramp. They see your tech. Immediately, Jieshi goes from a player who may have just committed to more Stalkers, 6 Stalkers, 9 Stalkers, pressure the ramp, get nothing done. Instead, what did he do? He warped in 3 Adepts, shaded them past, distracted, depowered, did a ton of probe damage, killed the sentry, made MacSed completely blind and massively damaged. Also, already had the Stargate on the way the moment he'd seen that Robo. So then the Oracle follows it up. I mean, he did so much damage with these 2 waves of harassment and was transitioning behind it. The only problem for Jieshi is that he went such a big commitment to Adepts, then 2 Oracles, and then he went 3rd base and Robo and Twilight. And they're
double Twilight.
Yeah, double Twilight even, right? Which makes no sense.
200 gas.
It's absolutely insane. And a Forge. And it's like, it's one of those things where in hindsight, Jieshi looks at this game and he's like, so I forced you into a corner. And then I realized I put myself in a position where I would definitely lose a fight when your back's up against a wall and you're forced to fight me in the corner. And you're like, ah, damn, I forced you into the winning strategy. You're like, not my best move. You know, because it's like, dude, I mean, what could he do? If you trade all your army to kill his economy, he has to come across the map to attack you. You just can't be quite so greedy behind it. So you cut one of those Twilights out, maybe the Forge out. You just make Stalkers and Robo units or something like that. Very different game that we do see. But good counterattack from MacSed, does resurrect himself, but as we said, a little bit lucky that Jieshi overextended. So I'm really curious to see what happens in the next game. MacSed's got to be careful to keep those probe scouts alive. You cannot let those go down. As well as commit, I think, really hard to a proxy or really hard to the block on Jieshi, because Jieshi's got some real tricks up his sleeve. Proxy gateways, then going into late Stargates. Like, this is the sort of unpredictable Protoss player that's very hard to play in PvP.
We've had some lovely comebacks in these two series so far, haven't we? I mean, the coffee one is still pretty insane, but like you mentioned in that cast, you're like, I mean, this comeback from MacSed would be up there. It'd definitely be up there if he managed to clinch it. And there it is.
That's it, man. I hope we just see more games like this. It's just a great way to bloody start the day, isn't it? It's awesome. It's been close series into close back and forth games. We really thought we'd get a 3-game first series, but that comeback was crazy. And now the PvP. So, I'm so curious how they change it up. Is it still 1 gate versus 1 gate? Are they committing to that? Are they confident in that no matter what? Is someone just going to do a straight up like proxy gateway all in? What sort of madness awaits us, Maynard?
What madness indeed. I shudder to think, Pig. I'd just rather watch it unfold before us. And I'm sure you guys do too. We do have Jieshi and MacSed in Game 3. The countdown has ended, and we are swimming under Data Sea to get into the decider match.
Space sharks, coral, fishies, all sorts of fun, and of course bodies floating to the surface. The physics get to have a lot of fun on these maps. Whoever created Abyssal Reef, figuring that they could do that on a map, hats off to you. Such a cool mechanic.
Beginning a trend that wasn't really touched for so long. Not until 2000 Atmospheres do we get another underwater map. At least not in the ladder map pool, but I'm pleased to see that it's a common fixture now. On the far left of Data Sea, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, this is Jieshi.
So interesting difference here, but I'll talk about that in a moment. In the top right, representing Invictus Gaming, it's MacSed.
Talk to me about these differences.
So MacSed wanted to return 5 minerals. So he let his guy that built the pylon mine 5 minerals on the natural, return the minerals, then go back to the natural and build the gateway. Jieshi didn't. Jieshi just left his probe there after building the pylon, so the second the pylon finished, he could build the gateway. Now, the way it worked out, it's only about a 1-second advantage on the gateway, but in game 1, it was the same scenario, and MacSed's Cybercore was like 3-4 seconds behind. So and these little details don't sound like a lot, but you know, sometimes your Oracle gets there 4 seconds before the shield battery finishes and kills 6 probes. And that's literally game-winning difference. So it's not, you know, huge in of itself, but I do think Jieshi's way of doing it is a little bit better on a map like this where the natural ramp is so far away. Either way, both players are scouting for now. Zealot starts up for Jieshi. No Zealot for MacSed just yet. And he is building a pylon at home. Jieshi's supply blocked right now. Jieshi needs to get the Nexus down, and MacSed lets him. Bit of a bummer that MacSed lets him do that, because Jieshi's so committed. On the other hand, if you're proxying him, maybe you want him to build a Nexus and a bunch of probes.
Yeah. Could be his downfall in the end, putting a little bit too much in the economy and not seeing the dangers hidden out there on the map. So we do have a proxy going down for MacSed, and it looks like it's probably going to be a Stargate.
A gas deal goes down for him. The positioning, I'm not sure. I think it might just be a gateway, actually. We might see like a 3-gate or something crazy. I don't know for sure, of course.
He just spent his money.
He did a gas deal. He builds Stalker, Warp Gate. He's committed to a gas deal and a Zealot and a Stalker and Warp Gate, so it's a pretty delayed proxy.
Robo.
Yeah, it's not a fast Robo. He's trying very hard to make this look like a normal game. But, I don't know, man. That... This is why you need to chrono. If you play a build like this, it's really important you chrono your Stalker or Adept, the first Cybercore unit that can hunt down this probe. Because the longer that probe is in your base, he's like, wait, you don't have a Nexus, you don't have a tech structure. So now Jieshi knows he's being proxied. And this is massive information for him. He should be dropping either extra gateways or his own Robo, something to help him stay safe.
Yeah, shield batteries, definitely. So see one of those go down. But more production is, I agree with you. We need more production, and we need it soon. At the gateway or robo, let's go.
Yeah, I would argue the second gate is, or robo is more important than the shield battery right now. You know, he's looking around his base, but he's not looking to the right. He's looking everywhere for Stargate with the probe. Immortal's already on the way, as well as 2 more gateways. I mean, this is going to be a very committed rush. That'll turn that into a fast warp-in pylon. And a robo does go down defensively, but at about 3 minutes 20. It's a very late robo, Maynard.
Yeah. And could have an immortal on the way now if he got it back, as he was securing the main from this probe and stolen gas.
He's at 35 probes as well. Jieshi is really just saying, oh yeah, 3 stalkers and a shield battery will defend this. Batteries are good, and this is not the fastest push from MacSed because he did try to disguise it. But he's going to have 2 immortals and a ton of gateway units coming in here. Sentry warping in. I mean, Sentries, if there's no prism with this, Sentries will just win the game. Because he's not building his own prism, MacSed. He's going for firepower, and that means he's very weak to force fields.
All right, well, his army's definitely going to slap. Let's see if it can get the job done here. Full wall off for Jieshi.
And he's building a backup pylon, very smart, so that if the front one goes down, the shield batteries will still be powered. Extra gateway goes down out the front. My lord. He's going to wait for an observer as well. MacSed going for a ballsy push. Great force field. Traps the stalker up front. Very nicely done. Battery overcharge already gets activated, and it's almost like a panic overcharge there.
Yeah, it's not really doing anything.
Oh my lord, this is such a scary moment for Jieshi right now. This rematch is so important to see who can get out of this group. The Immortals, the Sentries, the Stalkers there trying to push forwards. A second Immortal's almost out for Jieshi. That's really big. If he can get a second Immortal, then his firepower will be able to match. He's got some force fields available, but his force field doesn't really land in a big way. And these Immortals and Stalkers coming forward. The battery energy is almost dry there for Jieshi. Oh, look at that. Comes forward. One of the Sentries going down for Jieshi, but MacSed losing Stalkers. He almost gets the Immortal, but not quite. Great micro for Jieshi.
Yeah, indeed. Even gets a little bit of shields back as it walks back to the front line. A big probe ball, but Jieshi can afford to lose workers here as long as he pushes back MacSed, especially if he kills one of these Immortals.
Oh, the Adepts.
Huge for either player.
Oh, but he's got his own Adepts. He can shade after that. Adepts are very good at dealing with your enemy Adepts mobility here, and they're just going to get taken down for a couple probes, which is, like you said, not a problem. He can lose workers. He's still up 5 workers at this point. This is a very slow push for MacSed. It was a meaty push.
Oh, no.
Oh,
God.
the Immortal. Okay.
I thought that would have been a game-losing robo rally there, but thankfully that's not the case.
Looks like Jieshi has held on. Supreme greed from Jieshi, but the fact that MacSed's push was just so very late, it was trying to do the mind game, but Jieshi knew what was happening, and it feels like Jieshi has somehow measured this perfectly. Disruptor Bay is on the way, so Jieshi is, of course, going to have to watch out for that. Very good versus this army. The Adepts, the Immortals, all kind of weak to the Disruptor shots. And here we go. Bigger army for Jieshi right now. It really is all just about getting a Hail Mary Disruptor shot to get back in this game.
Shade goes into the natural, but that's, Jieshi just commits to his own Shade defensively and forces them back. And it does seem like Jaishi's got the upper hand considerably at the moment. A Disruptor in a dream, as they always say, could definitely get something done. Loses that Observer at the edge of Jaishi's main. But, yeah, MacSed is floundering a little bit here, just trying to scramble and see what he can get done with the pieces that he has still on the board. And still got a robo base, still got a robo facility. So let's get that Disruptor out, hopefully land a big ball. And maybe that makes the difference.
Interesting to see the Adepts are so big in the Chinese meta. We didn't see many Adepts in these early game battles. In the other regions we've been casting last week. So cool to see how these little micro metas evolve. And it's because the Adepts have such good harassment utility. Look at this. How annoying is that? Adepts in the main. That's going to hit there. Now, MacSed might have to base trade. And that could work out.
I mean, there's no recall in the main for MacSed, so...
Disruptor's pretty damn good in a base trade sort of scenario. Recall comes in.
All right.
Watch out for the Disruptor!
Disruptor comes on in, hits 3 Adepts. Not bad, but there is still a lot of firepower here in this army for Jieshi, which outnumbers MacSed's considerably.
Battery overcharge is such a problem, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be full base trade. Nice force fields, but the enemy units are still fighting. Gets another 3 Disruptors. I mean, they're pretty valuable hits. If you were still mining, I'd be like, yeah, you could do it, MacSed, but his base has been evicted. His probes are running around getting chased by an angry zealot. Mortal Shot does get dodged there. Great dodge by Mr. Jieshi. Waiting for these disruptor shots to come off. Cooldown is MacSed. He's down 17 army supply. Even the probes are being pulled. That disruptor's a bit too far forward.
Oh, that's it, man. The disruptors get taken off. And there's more immortal firepower here for Jieshi. The probes could all die. It does not matter. All that he has to do is stop MacSed's push. And he does. Jieshi